Hey everyone, I'm here to talk about the first trailer for Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse. Let's get into it. In the film, our friendly neighborhood superhero decides to join his best friends Ned, MJ, and the rest of the gang on a European vacation. But he's quickly called back to action when Nick Fury shows up and asks him for help. A series of violent, elemental creature attacks are happening across the continent, and they need Spider-Man's help to stop them. After some convincing and a lot of pleading from Fury, Peter reluctantly agrees to help, but not before making a pretty big declaration. He tells Fury that this better be a quick mission, because he really wants to catch a flight to Europe and spend some time with his friends. The first place we see Peter use his powers is London, where we get a very cool shot of him hanging upside down next to Big Ben. We then cut to what looks like Paris, where we see Peter fighting with one of the movie's villains. The fight takes place in front of the Eiffel Tower and it looks pretty intense. When Peter arrives in Europe, he's greeted by some familiar faces. We get our first look at Kate Bishop, who is being played by actress Ariana DeBose. In the comics, Kate is the daughter of Derek and Linda Bishop, and she becomes the new Hawkeye after she's mentored by Clint Barton. It's unclear if this version of the character will have the same origin, but based on her costume in the trailer, it seems like she'll be taking on the role of the new Hawkeye. We also get a glimpse of another familiar face in the trailer. Take a look at this screenshot. That's right. Paul Rudd makes an appearance as Ant-Man. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantumania just hit theaters earlier this year, so it makes sense that Ant-Man would be busy fighting bad guys in another dimension. But he still finds time to show up in this movie. Talk about a busy guy. We don't see much of Ant-Man in the trailer. He only appears for a few seconds, but it's great to see him in live action again. It looks like he's going to play a pretty important role in this movie. One of the most exciting parts of the trailer for me is when we finally get a glimpse of Spider-Man 2099. If you're not familiar with Spider-Man 2099, let me catch you up. Miguel O'Hara is a genetically engineered human being with spider-like abilities. He lives in a dystopian future where mega corporations rule everything, and he fights against them with the help of his best friend, a talking dog named Hairball. Spider-Man 2099 was created by Marv Wolfman and Len Wein, and made his first appearance in Marvel Comics in Amazing Spider-Man number 365 in 1984. Spider-Man 2099 has been a staple of the Spider-Man canon ever since he first appeared, and now it looks like he's finally going to make his way to the screen. The trailer doesn't give us much information about Spider-Man 2099, but it does tease a potential storyline for the movie. In the comics, Spider-Man 2099 comes from a world where all of the superheroes have disappeared, so it's possible that this movie could take place in a world where the Spider-Men of different dimensions have vanished, and Miguel is the only one left to carry on the legacy. What's cool about the trailer is that it actually features 3 different versions of Spider-Man: Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2099. It's a great way to showcase the vast Spider-Man canon, and it also sets up the possibility of a Spider-Verse storyline in the future. Let's take a closer look at the 3 Spider-Men we see in the trailer. First, there's Peter Parker. Peter is the original Spider-Man, and he's the one who started the whole Spider-Man thing back in the 1960s. He's been through a lot over the years, but he's always come out on top. In the comics, Peter is known for his quippy sense of humor and his ability to defeat even the most powerful villains. On screen, he's been portrayed by many actors, including Tom Holland, who plays the role in the MCU. Next, we have Miles Morales. Miles first appeared in the Ultimate Spider-Man comic in 2011. He became Spider-Man after Peter Parker was bitten by a radioactive spider. In the comics, Miles has all of the same powers as Peter, plus a few extra. For example, he can turn invisible, and he has a spider sense that warns him of danger. Miles has become a fan favorite since he first appeared, and he even made his live-action debut in Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse. And then there's Spider-Man 2099, as I mentioned earlier. Miguel is a genetically engineered human being with spider-like abilities. He lives in a dystopian future where megacorporations rule everything, and he fights against them with the help of his best friend, a talking dog named Hairball. Spider-Man 2099 was created by Marv Wolfman and Len Wein, and made his first appearance in Marvel Comics in Amazing Spider-Man number 365 in 1984. What's interesting about the 3 Spider-Men is that they all represent different aspects of the character. Peter Parker is the classic, more traditional Spider-Man. He's the one who started it all, and he's the one that most people think of when they hear the name Spider-Man. Miles Morales represents the future of the Spider-Man character. He's younger and he has more modern sensibilities. Spider-Man 2099 represents the darker, more violent side of the Spider-Man character. He's from a future where things have gone wrong, and he's a bit more jaded as a result. Now, as for the villain in the film, we haven't been given too much information about him just yet. All we know is that he's a mysterious figure who goes by the name Mysterio. Mysterio is a relatively new character in the Spider-Man canon. First appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man number 13 in 1964. He was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, and is one of the few Spider-Man villains who isn't a supervillain. In fact, Mysterio isn't even a bad guy. He's just a special effects artist who uses his skills to create elaborate illusions that he then sells to criminals. So why is Mysterio helping Spider-Man in the new movie? Well, it's hard to say. Mysterio's usually a pretty selfish character, so he must have some pretty strong motivations for helping Spider-Man take on these elemental creatures. Now, we do have a few clues as to Mysterio's identity. In the comics, there have been several different characters who have taken on the Mysterio mantle. But the most likely candidate to appear in the MCU is Quentin Beck. Quentin is a former Hollywood special effects artist who becomes obsessed with Spider-Man. He believes that he's better than Spider-Man and sets out to prove it by creating a series of elaborate illusions that fool the public into thinking that Spider-Man is actually a supervillain. In the comics, Quentin's plans always fail, and he's eventually sent to prison. But in the MCU, it's possible that Quentin could become a more tragic figure. Someone who genuinely believes that he's doing the right thing, but whose methods are just a bit misguided. What's interesting about Quentin is that he has no superpowers. He's just a normal human being with a very vivid imagination. This makes him a very different kind of Spider-Man villain. It's one who relies on his wits and his technical skills rather than brute strength or superpowers. There's not a lot of information available about Mysterio just yet, but as the release date approaches, we'll likely learn more about him and the other characters in the film. If you want to learn more about Spider-Man, check out the links in the description below. Be sure to subscribe for more news and updates on all things geek and nerdy. Till next time, stay geeky, my friends.